Hi golfers, Nick here for Nick Taylor Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. This week on Golf Tips, we're going to talk about the weight shift in the golf swing and talk about kind of the conventional standard weight shift versus an exaggerated stack and tilt move to help you golfers out there play better golf.
Okay, felt pretty good. You can see
in today's video, we're going to take a look at the kind of the traditional way of shifting the weight in the golf swing. And then we're going to take a look at an exaggerated opposite movement, kind of in line with the stack and tilt system, but I'm going to exaggerate this just a little bit more than I would do normally, just to prove my point for this video. So the first swing will be kind of traditional. So when I hit this shot here, I'm going to set up with my body weight pretty evenly distributed at setup, hands in the center, a bit more, and what I'm going to do in the backswing is I'm going to move my weight to the right and I'm going to move it back to the left. This is kind of the traditional way golfers are taught, still taught this day, which is crazy. But anyway, let's just kind of do traditional golf swing first. So pretty good shot. I caught that a little bit thin, so it can work. I swung that around 90 miles an hour, pitched around 150. This is a 7-iron here. Path was 0, attack angle 0, caught it a bit low in the face, but it was an okay shot. Now, I'm hitting this on a mat here. If I was hitting that on grass, maybe contact might not have been quite as good, especially if I'm like on a slope or especially a down slope there. I would have caught that really low in the face, maybe even topped the ball a little bit because my attack angle was very close to 0, but still created some speed and hit it pretty straight. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to do basically the complete opposite. So I've done plenty of videos talking about the stack and tilt golf swing where we set up with the weight and the two centers of the body, the hips and the shoulders, slightly to the left. So I'd feel like in a normal swing I'd have like 60% of my weight to the left at setup, and in my backswing I'd stay very centered, and then I'd move my weight progressively forward 70, 80, 90%, then about 95 in the finish to the left. So for the exaggerated move here, I'm going to do as much as I can to the left at setup. So as I set up here, I've got my left foot turned out here. I'm just moving my upper centers, my shoulders, my hips as far to the left as possible, my hands forward as well. So I'm going to keep my weight on this left side. It feels like I've got all this pressure on my left leg here. I'm just going to maintain that, keep pushing my hips forward, extend back into the finish here. So weight forward as much as possible, set up, backswing, and hips forward in the finish here. Okay, felt pretty good. You can see on the screen there, the strike was definitely better, carried about 160. Slight push out to the right. At setup there, I did open my face slightly, but the face was slightly closed. It had a very small push draw on that. I swung that 5 degrees inside out. Face slightly closed, 92 miles an hour, so similar kind of speed, more down attack angle, more into out. So keeping the weight to the left helps you swing the club more around your body. This is why that path was coming more inside. It also helps a little bit with the attack angle. The straighter you swing, the more down you're going to tend to hit, which is strange because actually in that conventional swing, even though my path was straighter, my attack angle was still around 0. So I didn't really hit down on the golf ball enough because I struggled to get my body weight back in front of the golf ball at impacts, right? The best players in the world would consistently strike ball first, then ground. So that's a good way to do it, by putting your weight as far to the left as possible, keeping it there. But you could see on the follow through there, I didn't keep moving my upper body forward. I kind of moved my hips forward and extended backwards just to shallow that attack angle. So you saw the difference in the shots there. Similar kind of speed. I was actually a little bit faster with my exaggerated weight forward swing compared to the kind of traditional weight shift swing. Part of that reason was in practice I was trying to work on the weight shift and I was really struggling a little bit with the contact, so I just had to try and control that a little bit more, but still tried to hit that pretty hard. I just wanted to try and make sure I made some sort of contact on it. I'm kind of not used to having that much shift of weight, and as you can tell, it's really hard to make consistent contact, get that low point in front of the golf ball the more you move around in the golf swing. On the screen here, we've got the two swings. Now, on the left-hand side here, we've got the kind of conventional swing where we have the weight shift. So I'm just going to draw a line here up from that left heel. I'm going to use this as kind of a reference point. So in yellow there would be the kind of the traditional weight shift where more like 50-50 at setup. And then if we take the line from the left heel in red here, for the exaggerated weight forward swing, you can see how my body center is way more forward, my left shoulder's more forward, my hips are more forward, and my hands are more forward. Like I mentioned in the video, I am exaggerating this. This is more exaggerated than you need to, but actually it gives a good result. My tack angle was very similar to the tour average. It's a fraction more down, only slightly more down. And my club path was into out and had a very tight little draw in it. So I actually hit a push draw with the stack and tilt swing. I did open the face a little bit more at setup with the stack and tilt swings. I knew I would be getting the path more into out, so I just wanted to make sure that ball started to the right. May have overdone that slightly, but taking a look at the video here, we're going to kind of look at these two swings together. So big difference there at setup. Then in the movements in the swing here, you'll see how in the back swing here, the weight shift with the traditional swing, moved away from that yellow line. So when I look at these two pictures here, I see this quite a lot in the bay here, where golfers are kind of taught to kind of shift their weight to the right. The arm's a little bit more bent. You can see the difference from that line. Now, like I said, this is a bit more exaggerated on the right hand side compared to my standard stack and tilt swing, but it's really wanted to kind of prove a point here. Then coming down into impact, you'll see that by the time we kind of strike the golf ball here, I've got my hands more forward on the right hand side. That's why I kind of compress the ball better. That's why I hit it a bit further. That's why I hit more down on it. Remember that one on the left hand side, my tack angle was basically 0 down. This one was about 5 degrees down with the exaggerated swing. So my body center there is very different at impact. You can see that as we hit through here, my hips are more forward, my left shoulder's more forward on the right hand side there with the exaggerated weight forward swing. Then interestingly enough, by the time we get to the finish here, like I mentioned in the video, I kind of extended backwards in that exaggerated weight forward swing just to try and make sure I didn't hit too much down on it. And actually by the time I finished the swing, you can see on the traditional swing I'm more turned, my upper center's more forward. So even though I managed to move more forward with my head position, it wasn't enough for impact. And this is the problem with the weight shift. It's very hard to control that low point. It's a lot harder to swing the club on the correct plane. Much easier to swing it on plane when you keep the weight more forward. Just need to make sure that you push your hips more forward and extend backwards. You can see the hip movement's very similar there, but I'm more extended backwards with the weight forward swing because I knew that was going to help me shallow it out as I went through, whereas in the traditional swing I had to keep moving forward just to try and get that low point further forward on the ground. So it's just a lot harder to hit, thin the ball a little bit more with that traditional swing, the ball curve more to the right with the traditional swing. So finally, let's just take a look at that once more here. So you can see here the difference in these movements, the weight shift versus the 100% weight forward and kind of extending backwards. So this is a really good way to kind of, if you're new to stack and tilt, to try and exaggerate the movements, right? If you've been told to shift your weight in the backswing and then back to the left in the follow through, when you try and work and change your swing, you sometimes have to exaggerate. So this was the purpose of today's video, really just to exaggerate the move and actually just show you guys that actually that swing can work. And I know this is just with a 7-iron, but it would be the same principles there with the driver, with the wedges, with every club. But this is a good way to kind of practice if you're trying to control your low point better. Certainly when you look at the strike on the mat, you can see that on the stack and tilt swing, or the exaggerated stack and tilt swing there, you can see the club clearly hits the ground in front of the ball, where I was hitting more level with that traditional swing. So for me, much better keeping your weight forward in the golf swing. So thanks for watching, golfers. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you try this out. If you try it out, send me some comments. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on that. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again next week for another video.
The most I can feel, I'm hearing you're not.
You topped it. Just topped it. Well, I'll delete that one.